I hate all crime. I hate all murder. I hate all killing.
We're not talking about black on black crime,
No,
though.
you only want to talk about white crime.
Because it's spurned by white supremacy. So let's talk about that. White supremacy is an issue in this country.
Does white supremacy cause black people to kill their own at a larger disproportional rate than any other race?
So first of all, what you're saying is really racist, and that sort of shit.
It's actually just statistically and factually correct. It's
Show me your
stats aren't
statistics.
I mean, the FBI has done studies on...
Show me your statistics.
I'm not the FBI. You could just Google them. You can go fact check me later and tag me on Instagram and make a video and say that I lied.
Yeah.
Stats are not racist. So if I say, statistically, black people kill more black people than white people kill black people, that's just a fact.
But
and
white
I think
people are
it's
killing
a
black
tragedy.
people out of white supremacist ideals. There is a difference.
So what
there.
do we do? What do we do about this white supremacy that's going on?
I don't know, maybe first and foremost get rid of the president that's bringing it out of people, bringing
Trump
it to the
is
forefront.
bringing white supremacy out of people?
He's bombing Lebanon.
So bombing Lebanon is because of white supremacy?
Honey, you have a bachelor's degree?
Yeah, in aerospace management.
Oh my God.
I'm a preacher, not a political activist. I want you to teach me right now
First of all,
how bombing Lebanon influences white supremacy in America, causing
because we are
white on
killing
black crime.
black and brown people because they are black and brown, because they are not white Christians. This is the campaign that is being led.
That's why it's
And
happening.
the more that you fool yourself and the more you try to fool college students into this, the more you spread information that continues to perpetuate white supremacy, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
All right. Lauren, right? Thank you so much.
Yeah, she showed him. Guys, thanks for being patient for 2 minutes. Do you know what? I was trying to prep the show and I wasn't looking at the time. Okay, guys, okay, let's do a roll call. Okay, everyone who's in the chat right now, God, as always, thank you so much for warming up the chat with Intergalactic Trump. Okay, thank you. I see you. And then JM21999. Thank you for being in the chat, and everyone else who's typing. I look, guys. If you want me to recognize you, okay, just jump into the chat, and I will essentially roll out the red carpet and give you one of these. Today was Canada Day, and my wife said, we have to do something, and I'm like, no, and then I got dragged out, so I'm still wearing the same clothes. We went to the, anyway, I'll talk about that at the end of the live stream. I don't want to bore the newcomers. All right, and then to the lurkers, newcomers, we see you. We appreciate you jumping into the stream. Now, we're going to go straight into the next story, and it is heartbreaking to watch, but I mean, we need to do this, okay? People ask, why is it that you're always hard on the left? It is because of scenes like this.
Unfortunately, it's the fourth time in this committee that we've
Intergalactic Trump, is that you? So this happens occasionally where I play a video and then everything just stops. I don't know why it's happening. I don't want to blame the computer. I literally bought a new used computer that's better than the old one. And this happens occasionally, okay? So Intergalactic Trump, I know, well, he's given me permission to blame him, okay, whenever things break, so I'm blaming him, okay? I'm doing the woke black thing to blame everyone else for their problems, all right? Now, I'm going to just try to refresh. The villains don't want you to spread the truth. Well, do you know what? I think so. I think so, okay? You watch other content creators who don't exactly preach, common sense and unity and, present the facts as best they can, okay? Not trying to gaslight, not trying to lie or anything. And their live streams go smoothly. And I'm like, why can't it just be us? So we're just going to read the chat, okay? Gardening says that is when intergalactic Trump does his trick. Shame, shame, shame. Look, guys, we're gonna have fun today, okay? All right. So while the video is loading up, okay. So this video, I'm just gonna let me see if I can. Let me see. Jeez, everything just froze up. I'm gonna get a new computer as soon as I can. Okay, I'm gonna get a new computer as soon as I can, and when I do, you know, we're gonna see, you know, what's what. Okay, all right. So let's keep going. The mother of Sheridan Gorman essentially appeared on Capitol Hill, and she's being of course interviewed and grilled, and of course, okay, so the video is about to play finally. Okay, I'm going to just play it and let the video speak for itself.
Unfortunately, it's the fourth time in this committee that we've had a hearing on sanctuary cities. There's many other things that we could be doing other than this.
Get so upset with your butts, and you don't want to talk about this. This is the fourth hearing. Do you know what I'm thankful for? And this is so messed up, I'm gonna say. I'm thankful. After hearing, I didn't even know what an angel family was. Had no idea, never even heard about it. There's so many out here. You know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that my daughter was just shot in the back of the head. Not raped, murdered, dismembered, put in a garbage can like Megan Boss with bleach poured on her, and they didn't fight her for 50 days. And you can actually dismiss the angel families. You can say, but
yep.
You don't want to hear four sessions on angel families. I'm sorry, you need to. You need to. I'm actually thankful that my daughter wasn't raped. How messed up is that? That I'm thankful every day that she was just murdered, not raped and dismembered. Like, think about that. Like, how messed up is that? Do you know what I thought of this morning when I got up? What the joy of, anyone have a baby here? The joy of picking out their first outfit that they're gonna wear on their ride home from the hospital. I had to pick out my daughter's last outfit, and she was a fabulous dresser. We had 100 people come to our home, 100 friends and family came to her home. We had her cremated, actually, after. And they all decorated her urn with rhinestones. All of them put it on there. She is fabulous, even in death. But for the first time, all the excitement of having a child and then having people make excuses and buts. I'm sorry, this is unacceptable. There are so many angel families out here. And the day that I have to wake up and be thankful that my daughter was only shot and not raped should tell you something. It's crazy.
Now, there's another video. I'm just going to play it back to back. We have a lot to get through, so I'm just going to try to push them in. Now, I haven't watched these videos, and I hope I'm not repeating some of them because they just filled up my feed, and I felt that we should take a look at these together.
I understand that you're here for a reason. I don't understand why it's only the Republican side that cares about our American children. And I know that you're a mother. I know that you're a father. I deeply value that. But basically what you just did, what you said was, I'm so sorry for your loss. I have a daughter too. I have a son. I feel your pain. You don't. You don't feel my pain. Because the next words out of your mouth were, but. There's no but. When your child is in a coffin, there's no but. And I need you to understand that. And if you ever want to talk about it, I'm here. I'm going to buy you a bench. You can put that on the record. I'm going to buy Congress a bench. And they can come and sit and hold my hand and look me in the eye and explain to me why illegal immigrants are more important than my daughter. I really want to know because I don't understand. And I understand that you're here for a reason. I don't understand why it's only the Republican side that cares about our American children. And I know that you're a mother. I know that you're a father. I deeply value that. But basically what you just did...
Okay, so, sorry, I didn't notice when it skipped. I'm gonna get to the chat. Okay, so there's one more video. I think I'm gonna just play that. Look, these are real encounters, and when people on the left or Democrat leadership follow up these real encounters with made-up lies, that's what gets me.
One of the things that happened, I'm sorry I've done this, but one of the things that happened is we're in Chicago getting ready to claim my daughter's body, And the mayor there is naming a truck Abolish ICE, standing and laughing and joking, while my daughter was just murdered there. Like, what? One of the things that happened, I'm sorry I've done this, but...
Now, during this hearing, this happens because this was one of the videos that I wanted to play yesterday, and of course we didn't get
Sure.
to it.
When you send your kid to college, you should be worried about making sure they go to class, or hopefully that they have a nice roommate, or how to help them get a summer internship. Not worried that illegal immigrants are shooting them while they're out with their friends looking at the Northern Lights. It is shameful that we are here. Not because this is the fourth hearing, but because we need to have 4 hearings to make people understand the real-life consequences of the disastrous sanctuary city policies. So while some of my colleagues may not want to hear the truth, the same outrage you feel about Renee Good and Alex Preddy,
Mr.
you
Chairman,
should feel about
would you
Sheridan Gorman
please
and
end
Laken Riley
this-
and every Angel
end this
family in
statement?
this country.
I do feel that outrage.
You do not,
Do you?
because if you did,
Do
you would
feel?
not support
Do you
sanctuary
feel the
jurisdiction.
outrage about
You
Alex
should be
Preddy and
ashamed
Renee
of
Good?
yourself.
You should be
ashamed
You don't
of
belong in
yourself,
this committee.
Jamie.
You should get the hell
You're
out
a
of here.
disgrace.
You don't understand the
You're
rules
a
of the committee.
disgrace.
You don't understand the Constitution.
You're a disgrace.
Full of it.
Mr.
You're
Raskin,
You're an
absolutely full of
absolute
it.
disgrace
Raskin,
supporting
get a hold of
sanctuary
yourself.
Say
policies.
one word about
Get
it.
rid of
Say one
sanctuary
word about
policies.
Alex Preddy and
I
Renee
did.
Good.
I wrote a whole New York Times op-ed about it. You should be absolutely
follow the
ashamed of
rules of the
yourself
committee. Get out of
for
here.
not
Committee will
opposing
be-
sanctuary policies that resulted in their daughter's death.
The committee will be in order.
Mr. Chairman, I
We're
just
going
want to
to-
say we will not allow, thanks to Mr. Lawler's outrageous outburst, we will not allow this to happen again. This
We
was an
will-
agreement
we
between
will
the
proceed-
chair and the ranking member, and unfortunately, you're not able to
We will
control your
proceed-
members, so it is time for us to proceed.
Your opening
yes.
statement was
proceed-
outrageous.
we
You
will
should be ashamed of
proceed in
yourself.
order.
I yield back.
Get off of it.
So that was essentially also happened during the hearing. And it's sad that American citizens, and let me just use this phrase, on both sides, because you have the victims of illegal migration, where people who haven't been vetted come into the country and start committing crimes. And then you have the people on the other side who say we have to be compassionate. These people are fleeing despicable circumstances. Okay, fine. But are they coming to add value to the United States or to commit crime? I saw a tweet or a post on X. I'm just going to try and quote it. And the post said, when the Italians migrated to the United States, they brought crime. Okay, they brought organized crime, but the United States government on the left and the right didn't actively try to protect or defend them from facing the consequences of their crimes. Okay, they faced that problem head on. So what we're seeing today is whenever someone on the right, like we just saw in this video, steps up to say there is crime happening because of this policy, you have people on the left actively running cover for the criminals who come in and do things like this. All right? Now, Alex Preddy, Megan Good, not Megan Good, Renee Good. Megan Good is the actor or actress. Died because they were following instructions that Democrat leadership asked them to carry out, and that was obstruct federal law enforcement. But the Democrats have refused to acknowledge that other citizens were murdered by illegal aliens, and it is that hypocrisy that stings. I'm going to read you guys chat because while I was reading it, you guys were posting your thoughts, and I'm just going to put it out there. So let me just come up so that we can see eye to eye, or can look into my eyes. This is gut-wrenching. I can't even imagine what hurt. Pray for healing. It's awful. Look, JM, it is gut wrenching, and you know, whenever I hear these arguments on Capitol Hill, the first question I ask is, are these people parents? And of course, we just heard that one of them, what's her name now? I need to read her name properly. I don't want to be accused. Okay, I'm going to look to the left here. Her name is what? Geez. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to butcher her name. Pramila Jayapal. Okay. They said that she's a mother, but they don't act like, Jayapal. Yeah. Yeah. Like, they don't act like their parents. They don't act like they feel the pain of these parents. They look into the eyes of these parents and they want to minimize the impact of the murders that these parents have had to suffer. And some of them there had to endure descriptions of how their daughters were assaulted before they were murdered. And then they try to minimize it. And that's the upsetting thing. And anyone on the left who tries to sidestep it, I don't want to use this term lightly, okay? But I would like to say is quietly endorsing it. If you don't step up and say, this is wrong, these guys suck, they need to stop doing that, and you need to call them out. Gardner says, this lady is breaking my heart. Garding says this, I'm so sorry that I focus on my life so much without even thinking about these families, without it showing on the screen. I'm ashamed of myself. No. Don't be ashamed of yourself. I want you guys to understand something, okay? And one, give yourself a lot of grace. We're talking about these things not because we're looking for yet another reason to be upset, but we're discussing these things so that we can expose some of these lies, some of these things that are going on that we need to pay attention to. And while we pay attention to them, we need to realize why it is that the policies that are being pushed through the government agencies and through Congress, which make it more difficult for the regular guy to get ahead in life, create these circumstances where you don't even know what's going on in your own country. You don't know what's going on next door because you're so busy worrying about your own issues. All right? And sometimes I feel like it's by design. If they keep your nose to the grindstone, high taxes, crazy policies that essentially make you feel like, okay, you worked all your life, but suddenly you need to keep working even after you're retired. It's all about keeping your nose to the grindstone, because if you have enough time to look up and look around, you see that these people are making horrible decisions that you didn't sign off on. So don't feel bad or don't feel guilty. It's really it's by design. It's by design that that citizens don't get the health care they need, but they would rather give illegal aliens free money. JM says is absolutely by design. They would rather give illegal aliens free money of your hard-earned taxpayer taxes, and they would house them freely. Meanwhile, you have veterans that are still homeless. They would give them cards filled with money. Meanwhile, there are families that have to routinely take groceries off their list when they're at the counter paying because they don't have enough. They give layabouts, EBT cards, while the hardworking Americans don't get a break. And when a president decides, okay, I'm going to create these tax breaks, they attack that president and say that he is giving tax breaks to billionaires, when the regular families also benefit from those tax breaks. Like, these are things that we need to pay attention to and call out. And it's not for us to call these things out and say, okay, now it's time to turn on the hate. It's about discussing these things and saying, okay, what are these policies? Now, we're going to talk about socialism today because my feed was just filled with socialism. So we're going to talk about socialism. How many minutes are we in now? Oh, geez. That's a lot. I thought we were just 10 minutes in. Okay. So don't feel, bad about yourself. Intergalactic Trump says horrible stuff. I don't know how to feel about watching these parents recount their situations and then having someone in Congress discount those situations and try to make it all about Trump. I don't, for me, it upsets me. I get angry. Now, in line with the immigration question, yesterday we talked about the ruling of the Supreme Court on birthright citizenship. This report was done by CNN in 2015 because, look, if we go back far enough, look, I like doing this because many times people talk like Trump just came on the scene and is talking about things that don't make sense because he's racist. I literally had a conversation before coming up to start prepping for the show with my wife. And she's like, oh, look, South Africa decides that they're going to kick out immigrants from their country. Okay, so this looks like a ripple effect of the immigration policies of the United States. And I looked at her, and like I've told you guys before, she doesn't really, she's not me. She doesn't dig into these things. She's not looking at these things. She's worried about other things, kids, school. She's thinking about those things. I'm the guy who has to think about all of that and everything else. And I said to her, did you know that South Africa has always had a problem with xenophobia? That for years, every couple of years, Black South Africans attack businesses owned by other Black Africans who immigrated into South Africa, started businesses, and are more successful than them. They get upset because they don't improve their own lives. Other immigrants from other African countries, especially from Nigeria, come in, do well, succeed, and the Black people there who expect to be served hand and foot by the government, who don't improve their lives, get upset when people come in and do what they're supposed to do, and then they begin to attack them and burn down their businesses and actually kill a couple of them. It's been happening for decades. She didn't know. So I like to bring these things up. Sorry, I brought in the Africa drama, but it applies because many times people talk about, okay, this is what Trump is doing today, but this is a problem that has always existed. CNN did a segment on the growing trend or business of the Chinese using U.S. surrogates to have their babies in America. And their children will be U.S. citizens. CNN covered this in 2015. Was Trump president in 2015? He wasn't. Let's have a listen.
I know it's not my baby.
The child growing inside Audra Anderson will be going to parents in China.
Who are the future parents of this child you're carrying right now?
A Chinese gay couple. And they are the most wonderful people that I know. They are loving and caring. And if I didn't think that, I wouldn't have given them two wonderful children.
Anderson's surrogate pregnancy is not unusual. A growing number of women in the U.S. are becoming surrogates for wealthy Chinese couples. Agencies like West Coast Surrogacy in Irvine, California, are seeing a large influx of customers from overseas. In fact, 40% of their clients are from China.
For one, their child will be a U.S. citizen. I'm sure that has some draw to it.
There are other American companies trying to get in on this growing surrogacy industry. Unlike international adoption, there are very few rules governing international surrogacy. Here in a small desert town in Southern California, Audra Anderson says she's already considering carrying a third surrogate child. She can earn from $35,000 to $45,000 for each baby.
Guys,
I know it's not my baby.
okay, I have to pause this again. So that is essentially more of an argument towards why people feel like the Supreme Court's ruling isn't doing any justice to the situation, and Americans don't know this, or they don't remember these things. Like I said, the system is created to keep you distracted. All right, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I have eyes and a brain. You see these things going on, and then you ask yourself the question, why do people keep voting in the same people who created the problem to stop the problem? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. So guys, let me know what you think of that in the chat, because we did get into a bit of a conversation around this yesterday, and I didn't, we did our best. All right, we did our best to talk about it, but there's still more to talk about. Now, today, in today's news, Colorado Democrat socialist Milad Quiros, Milad Quiros, who said 9/11 was America's fault, claims that her priority will be to stop President Trump. Let's have a listen to this.
We will not wait! We will not wait to take the fight to Donald Trump and the oligarchy. We will not wait! We will not wait to abolish ICE and pass Medicare for all! We will!
Well, so this little ray of sunshine just unseated an incumbent, a 15-year incumbent. Okay, hold on. Let me take this chat from Intergalactic Trump. Intergalactic Trump says it should be illegal to surrogate for anyone out of the country. Well, someone is going to say that it is infringing on their freedoms. All right. The freedoms of United States citizens are far-reaching, and that's a good thing. But you see, when your enemy sees that your freedoms are far-reaching and they begin to take advantage of those freedoms, you need to begin to create guardrails. Not to take away the freedoms, but clauses that say, if you're going to give birth to a child, surrogacy to create an American citizen and then ship them off to another country where they live for the rest of their lives, no, that's not going to happen. Okay, that's not going to happen. This is the result. Things like this is the result of living in so much safety that you don't realize that there are dangers out there. Americans, for the most part, not all Americans, but most Americans have lived in such a siloed off life that everything is fine. Like, law enforcement is great. You have a government that cares about you. You can put yourself at risk in a different country, and that country has to figure out a way to help you because you're an American citizen. That doesn't happen for people like me. So Americans think that everyone is that way. Everyone isn't that way. Americans think that sending your surrogate baby to China is like sending them to Wisconsin. It's not the same. Well, this lady has essentially won, and the Democrats are doing their very best to claim that, oh no, everything is fine. And here's Adam Schiff on CNN saying this about socialism.
We've heard about Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, who is a Democratic socialist who won. Some of her tweets have come to light, some of her older tweets, since deleted a Twitter account where she has sympathetic references to communism, talks about a Marxist ideology, talks about seizing the means of production, abolish police, prisons, and borders, wiping her hands on a U.S. flag. She now says, quote, I have grown considerably in the years since these tweets, and I'm focused on our community and our community's future, which is not...
You see the hypocrisy, and I'm going to just say this and play the video. when it comes to them, they've grown. But when it comes to a conservative like Trump, they go back 20 years, dig up a lie, claiming that he assaulted someone in the dressing room in a well-populated or well-trafficked, designer store. And then they drag him through the court to destroy his life and his marriage. But he hasn't grown. Those were lies, actually. Or someone comes out and says, 20 years ago, he said this while we were in a locker room, that he would grab he would grab women by their pee, and you're like, he's horrible, he's a misogynistic, bigot. No, he didn't grow. But you guys have grown. Here's tweets of you claiming that you want to defund the police, you want to abolish ICE, you want to wipe your hands on the American flag and show how much you hate the American people and so on, while espousing the same things that show that you hate America and Americans. Have grown considerably.
Not exactly disowning the comments. What do you make of these comments and the fact that this is a growing brand of the Democratic Party?
Well, I wouldn't say that those comments are reflective of a growing brand in the party.
Lies.
I understand that she's advocated closing all prisons, defunding police departments, opening borders. None of those views are within the mainstream of the Democratic Party. Now, what went on in her...
She's probably going to be a member of Congress, though.
She will, at this point, having won the primary, probably be a member of Congress. That doesn't mean that she's reflective of the whole party. You also saw some very centrist wins in primaries. We had a centrist win in Iowa in the primary. We had centrist win in the governor's races in New Jersey and Virginia. All that's to say it's hard to extrapolate from one campaign or even three in New York City and say this is a nationwide trend. But I will say this. It is reflective, among other things, of the power of Mamdani, of Mayor Mamdani. I think he is incredibly charismatic leader. I think he is inspiring New Yorkers and winning people over and has enormous clout in New York. There was a lot of fear when AOC first ran for office that she was going to be this dangerous influence. She's been a great member of Congress. She's been articulate and forceful and made a profound case for change. So I'm not afraid of new members or new ideas in the party. I welcome.
So Adam Shifty Schiff is coping, okay, like everyone else is coping. They're already coming after Hakeem Jeffries' seats. They're not talking about the obvious insurgency happening within the Democrat Party. All right? He's claiming that, there are centrist wins over here. Of course, the Democratic Socialist Antifa Islamists haven't arrived at those cities or states yet. So he's pointing at places that haven't been infected with the insurgency. Now, this comment in the post says Schiff uses words like articulate, charismatic, and forceful to describe AOC and Mamdani. You know who else had those characteristics? Lenin. And how did that work out for the world? It's crazy that you have these people who are so out of touch with reality. They're out of touch. It is shocking how out of touch they are. And as far as they're concerned, as long as it means that they keep power, is fine. Even though you have people who absolutely hate you, okay, and they think that you are corrupt and you aren't going far enough to establish their communist utopia. Here's, I think this is John Fetterman, okay, reacting to the insurgency in his party. Now, we just heard Adam Schiff, okay, Democrat senator. Here's John Fetterman reacting to the same reality that Schiff was talking about.
I mean, she was praising Kim and Stalin. I mean, between those two men, 100 million, people murdered, like some of the most evil and terrible people in the world or in history. And she was praising them, saying we don't have enough of their books, in our libraries. And of course, she deleted those things. But this is not ancient history. This is all recent views that people like this we are electing. I mean, she was praising
polar opposites. Okay, polar opposites. This comment says she's Mamdani with lipstick. The difference, she's just more blunt and bold on what the real intentions are. All right, look, it's laughable. Now, I know we had a great conversation with someone who joined the chat yesterday who said, "Hey, I'm a socialist." And look, we can have conversations, and those conversations should be fact-based. Okay, where has socialism ever worked? Now, I'm going to read the chat. I don't want to leave you guys behind. Let's see. I need to. JM says, we need guardrails now. We have so many influencers who should be registered as foreign agents due to all the outside money that has been pumped into these entities. See China, Soros, Hassan Piker, etc. Hassan Piker is top of the list. You have Sneeko, I haven't followed Sneeko enough, so I can't say much about him. But there are a lot of these influencers that are stoking those flames and saying, oh, well, the US is bad and Islam is good and 9/11 was America's fault. Like they say these things and they get tons and tons of money. These people are millionaires. Okay, they get tons and tons of views. So there's a point there that like these guardrails have to be in place, but it has to be done properly. Like, it's crazy, but this is where the slippery slope begins. You're trying to hedge off problems over here, but then again you create another problem over there. Like, you're trying to say, okay, we need guardrails, but you wind up taking away freedoms. Here's my opinion. I think the one way to create these guardrails is education. Now, what we've done is indoctrination so far with the Department of Education, and that is why socialism is surging, because the Department of Education has essentially been a Marxist training camp. That's what it is. The public education system is that, and the colleges and schools. If you can clean up the education system in the United States, the guardrails will hold, because the Constitution is enough. You don't have to write new laws. The Constitution was written for a moral, godly society. But when you replace it with a society that is filled with Marxists, that Constitution becomes a cudgel that they use against their enemies. They say, the Constitution allows us to do this. And then when you rise up to oppose the tyranny that they're trying to push, they say, hey, you're breaking the Constitution that you claim to uphold. That's what they do. They've been trained to do that. So the one way to fix this is education. Educate your kids. Americans, conservatives, have more kids. Have more kids. If you're old and you have kids, encourage your kids to have kids. Adopt if you must. Raise these kids to be godly people. Raise these kids to love the United States. Raise these kids to love God. Raise these kids to love their fellow man. All right, that is the solution. I think that possibly might be the most articulate solution. And I'm borrowing part of this from Charlie Kirk. He said, have children, love God, raise them well. Okay, because that is the solution. You can't depend on public institutions. They've been captured. They've been captured and they will defend themselves. If you have Trump trying to take funding away from Harvard, you would have the likes of Candace Owens, who is supposed to be a conservative, attacking him for taking funding away from a school that actively attacks conservatives when they come to speak on campus. And partially, she's right, because the Constitution allows for the school to remain funded. So you can't use the same tools they would use against you, because even your own side will attack you. So what do you do then? It's a weird scenario, but I think the best solution is for us to look inwards. Families, grow your families, have big families, and create businesses. Because when I say have families, a lot of people say it's expensive to raise kids in this day and age, because you're thinking of getting a job. Start a business. Even if the business is an extra couple of hours doing DoorDash in the evenings, it is a start. Start something and begin to grow a business that eventually is big enough to take care of your big family. Then you hire your kids to be part of the business. That's the way America grew. It is. Guys, it's hard work. It's hard work. And nobody likes hard work. Nobody does. No one does. But if we're going to be part of stopping the rot, we have to roll up our sleeves, because the other side is not sleeping. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox. JM21999 says he almost laughed when he said AOC was articulate. Everyone knows that AOC, I don't want to call her, but she isn't. Okay, I don't want to go there. She isn't. You know, she's someone who got lucky. She happened to be at the right place at the right time. She's riding a wave. And she's doing okay. People call her a bartender and so on. Yeah, she was a bartender. And that's the beauty of America. But you see, like I said, they take the thing that is good about the United States and then they turn it and then they use it against the United States. Someone who used to be a bartender rose up, and instead of improving herself and figuring out how to love and champion the values that gave her the opportunity, she's destroying those things that gave her the opportunity. She is. And she's not improving herself. She's talking like a bartender. JM says, beautifully said. Oh, sorry, I didn't read Intergalactic's tweet. Sorry, his post first. He said, Fetterman is a better man. That's a nice rhyme. I like that. But it's true. Let's see. Beautifully said, my friend. Well, thank you for the kind words. I hope, when Charlie Kirk was taken from us, personally, I cried, because this was someone who was able to articulate every idea that I believe was responsible for the greatness of America, from the founding fathers all the way up to present day. And he was taken from us. And then I got enraged when I saw people who didn't know anything about him, or who knew about him but wanted to smear him. The blood hadn't dried on the grass before MSNBC had someone claiming that it was a conservative in the crowd who must have been celebrating and shot their hero. Anyway, I don't want to rant, on that, but the point I'm trying to get to before I got sidetracked by myself is we have to learn how to articulate these ideas and understand what it is that we're being distracted from. Big government wants to be daddy. They want to be daddy. And as long as daddy and mommy are holding down 9-to-5 jobs, 2 shifts, or 2 jobs, 3 jobs, the cat has a job, everyone has a job. They don't have time to be parents. They don't have time to be mommy and daddy. So who becomes mommy and daddy? The government does. And then they begin to parent your kids to become anything but your kids. JM says, believe it or not, she is a third cousin of mine. The Maldonado family from Puerto Rico. Oops. We're talking about your cousin. Are you serious, JM? Wow. Okay. Look, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. You know, I have family in politics back in Nigeria. I have a cousin who is way up there in the government, like way up there. And when my brother was in government, I essentially kind of decided I wasn't going to call him for any favors. I wasn't. Somehow I've always had an aversion to government. I'm like, there's something icky about this. I don't trust it. Okay, let's keep going. JM says, yes, well, anyway, let's keep going. AOC has done well for herself. Okay. All right, we're 47 minutes in, and let's listen to Stephen A. Smith. I saw this, and I just want us to kind of hear what he has to say, because Stephen A. Smith is a Democrat. He's a Democrat apologist. He's praying that the Democrat Party that he grew up under is revived, but I think he has to have that funeral. It's dead and gone. He needs to move on. That's a nice rhyme.
If you're a Democrat in the United States, particularly in New York City, Zohran Mamdani is coming. And if he's coming, what does that mean for the rest of America? Because I got questions. Where has socialism ever succeeded?
Yep.
If so, tell us where that is. How's it going to succeed in New York? How are you going to sell that in a capitalistic society? You might do it in New York with young voters. What about the people in the suburbs? What about them? You really, really think this kind of message is going to resonate with them? Because, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about here is this. If it resonates within the Democratic Party, but it doesn't have a snowball's chance of resonating in a general election, then you're basically handing the presidency to the GOP in 2028 as well. That's what you're doing. Because the party, the Democratic Party, will have been perceived as being fragmented. That's what I'm seeing when I see Zohran Mamdani.
Well, not perceived. It is fragmented, Stephen A. And you need to, have that funeral and move on. And I think what he said is what I said. I think I said that a couple of days back or yesterday. Can anyone fact check me? Because I think I said something like that. I said, if they continue going down this path, it's very clear that the Democrat Party essentially is going to lose, because centrists who are in the Democrat Party are going to jump ship because they can't endorse they can't endorse this. Okay. Now there will be people who say, hey, you guys are going overboard. Okay. Communism isn't so bad. No, not that. I misspoke. They say socialism is not communism. Come on, it's in the words. Socialism, communism. You guys are morons, okay? You conservative influencers are morons. It's not the same. Ha 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 ha. Well, here's the leader of the DSA, the Democrat Socialist Party of America, essentially confirming what we all know.
I'm not sure that all your members see that distinction, though, between democratic socialism and communism. Look, let me show you an example. This is National DSA Political Committee member David Jenkins. Watch this.
I mean, our goal is liberation. Our goal is communism. We're a diverse body of libertarian socialists, libertarian Marxists, anarchists, left communists, and other schools of thought within the sort of left wing of socialist movement.
He says our goal is communism.
We have a big tent of all sorts of ordinary people who have many different ideas about what the pathway is or what the horizon.
Yeah. Avoid avoid the elephant in the room, even when its butt is in your face. They are a communist party. And they will lie, they will say everything they can to make us believe that they are not. All right. Now, I have a bunch of other videos, but I'm going to just skip over to, let's see. What's the time? Okay, 51 minutes in. Okay, so I would like us to... This video is so good, okay? It's from a Democrat. I'm going to play this. I'm just going to play these videos, and you guys let me know what you think in the chat, because it's fun to watch these people just call out their own side. I think this person is... I think they're a Democrat who's saying this, I think, but I might be wrong. Let's play this.
Now look at all of this, and I want to get your not only reaction to that, but what do you think it means in terms of the future of your party, Yemisi?
Yeah, she's a
It
Democrat.
feels like people who have never really had to work, and we know Malat hasn't had a very traditional job, and this is reflective of a lot of people that are in DSA. They have led very privileged lives where they've only had to sit and ponder about what hard work is and never had to actually do the hard work. And I think that's reflected in a lot of their ideology and a lot of their platform. It's not connected to the steps that take real policy wins to make happen. But I don't think that we should ignore them and think of it as something that only happens in very deep blue pockets. 5 years ago, I could have never imagined that these kind of candidates would be coming to Congress, and now they're here. And the job right now for a lot of people in the Democratic Party is to make sure that nationally this is not something that becomes an identifier as the brand.
Well, sorry, that has become the identifier. It's sad, but it is true. Okay. Now, I have a bunch of other videos, but I want to jump over to Tom Sowell, because Tom Sowell, because there are people who will, come in and say socialism isn't bad. Come on. Here are all the great things that happen when socialism is done well, okay? And the question is, okay, so where has it been done well? Nowhere. Okay, those other places, China, the Soviet Union, Venezuela, Chile, where else? Like all these places that have tried to do socialism well failed spectacularly. All right. And the people who supported socialism didn't say to themselves, hey, let's go and fail spectacularly. They didn't say that. What they did was they said, hey, this is something that's going to make us all equal. It's going to erase poverty. It's going to erase elitism. Yay! And then everyone who doesn't know how the world works celebrates it and supports it. And then when the people who goaded them on to tear down the old system get into power, guess what they do? They get rid of everyone who facilitated that process. Here's Tom Sowell.
It simply was never put to any test. Now, the test I suggest is a simple one, but it is a test. And if it's true that the rich are rich because they're keeping the poor poor, then in a country with lots of billionaires, you should correspondingly have great amounts of poor people.
Yeah.
But if you compare the actual data, there are more billionaires in the United States than in Africa and the Middle East put together. And yet the standard of living of the poor in the United States is higher than that of people in Africa and the Middle East. So by that simple standard, it just doesn't.
Yeah, and anyway, hey, Tom Sowell, guys, Tom Sowell, okay, and intergalactic. No. Sorry, I keep looking. Intergalactic Trump, okay, you deserve. Because you're right on the tip of my tongue, but don't steal Tony's thunder, because I was about to give a shout out to Tony. Tony says, my dad, Dr. Tom Sowell. Soul. I have to get that into my tongue. I've been calling him Sowell for over 6 years. Okay, Tom Sowell. Yeah. And Tony says, give this man a statue. Look, I desperately want Tom Sowell to be honored at the White House, but my suspicions are he will not he won't show up because he has a very, very low he has a very, very low opinion of Washington. Okay, so that's Tom Sowell there. He has essentially, like, he dismantled socialism in under a minute in that video. So guys, that's as much as, now I have many videos that we could cover, but let's jump into the body cam segment of our show. Okay, now something weird happened. What's this? I'm looking at the look, I literally last minute jumped in and tried to set up the show. Now, there's something that happened in New York today, and I want to cover it real quick. And there's a body cam footage, I think, of the encounter. I'm just going to play all the videos. I hope I have them all in order. Jeez. Okay. I think I can do the Fox News. I think I can do the Fox News segment first. Okay. So this is a weird report, and let's have a listen.
We've been watching this, something rather odd to see. We've been watching this during the commercial break. So this is what it looks like. Two people are at the top on the spire part of the Empire State Building, holding a flag that we think says, because it's blowing in the wind, "Power of love beats love of power. The world knows peace." Well, that beautiful statement, however it may happen, is way up in the sky. And the two people are dressed in all black, and they are wearing masks. They appear to be a man and woman duo, but that's hard to tell from the ground. So with our drone or helicopter here, we can see them better. We've reached out to the New York Police Department to see what's happening on the ground. So, I mean, we need to get some ground cover now, because if they have, you know, surrounded this building, we would know it. But right now, the only eyes that we have are from the sky, those two people hanging on with that banner.
So that was what Fox News knew at the time, but it turns out that here's the body cam footage of them trying to rescue these two jokers. It turns out, okay, I'm going to skip forward. It turns out that one of them decided that they were going to, okay, I have breaking news coming from gardening. Hold on. I'm going to play this first, okay, while I check out the news from gardening. Now, it turns out that that they were, it was a proposal. One of them knelt down and appeared to propose. Okay, two mass protesters climbed the 1,454-foot spire of the Empire State Building and unfurled a banner reading, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace." That sounds very, very philosophical. Before the man appeared to propose. So it's a man and a woman. Guys, they deserve each other. Okay, if the woman thinks that that is a romantic gesture, they deserve each other. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna play this video as well. Okay, Gardening just sent this, and look, I'm gonna play it, and then we'll talk about it. Let's see. So here's the body cam footage of them attempting to be rescued, because I don't think they thought this through. Okay, I don't think they thought this through. They are like, "Oh, we're going to do something romantic, and I'm going to propose to you at the top of the spire." No plans on how to get down. Okay, let's see.
Hello? How you doing? Can you just stay where you are? Rob, you good? How you doing? Well, you can't be up here. What? All right. All right.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
Rob, come on.
Well,
give me this.
She has to.
You guys gonna be cooperative? You cooperate? Matt, you're on. right, bring her to the other side.
We're gonna see a body cam video of this in a couple of months when they've been charged and arraigned, and then we're gonna play the full body cam video of this. Are you joking?
Hello?
Apparently, these two have
you need to stay where you are?
a documentary called Skywalkers on Netflix. Really?
How you doing? Well, you can't be up here. What?
Oh, sorry. It's looping back. That is insane. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at the link that Gardening sent. Okay, guys, so I've committed the cardinal sin of not, I've committed the cardinal sin of not asking for you guys to like the video, share the video. If you can't chat, leave emojis just to say, hey, I'm enjoying what I see. And if you're feeling extra generous, please subscribe. Okay. And if you're feeling extra generous, please share the video. And help the channel. We need all the help we can get. Okay. We're a growing channel, and I have a faithful following in you guys. And I want to say thank you to you guys who keep showing up night after night after night. For a couple of you with great inconvenience, okay? And you keep showing up, and I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful. So I just want to say thank you guys, and please consider supporting the channel that way. Okay, so we're going to play this video that was sent in. I'm just going to quickly paste the link in here. Gardening feels like we should take a look at it, and we will. She promises that there's no there's no blood. So on the steps of the U.S. Capitol, a disgraceful act of dissent took place. Active duty U.S. Air Force Major Jason Watson called for the impeachment, conviction, and removal of President Trump. He was arrested shortly after. Well, yeah, he has essentially, look, these people have been given, well, let's listen to this and I'll talk about it.
The president and vice president must be impeached, convicted, and removed.
Yes! Yes! Yeah, you're so heroic. And when you ask this clown, okay, all right, so Gardening says it was showing up all over my feed today. Yeah, so guys, what do you think of this act of look, there's a reason why he's going to be dishonorably discharged. That's what I think. And of course, the CNNs and TDSBCs and everyone else is going to pile on to say, oh, this is his First Amendment right. You lose First Amendment rights when you join the military. You don't do this. You don't say this about the chain of command. All right? You can do this as a private citizen. But when you're in the military, those rules don't apply. There's a different set of rules you live by under the military chain of command. And what he's done, he's gotten his 15 minutes of fame, maybe 6 months of fame while there's a hearing and while he's doing his media rounds, because I guarantee you he's going to show up on TDSBC, CNN. He's going to be side by side with Elisa Slotkin and Squidward. And so you guys know who Squidward is, and everyone else, the Seditious Six, they're going to embrace him and say, yeah, like this is what we're talking about, and he's a major, and yeah, where our message is getting out there. yes, he's going to be court-martialed. He's going to be court-martialed. He's going to be dishonorably discharged. Okay, that means he loses his pension. And then he's going to spend the rest of his life crying about losing his pension, crying about how the country is unjust, crying about the fact that he did something that deserved a dishonorable discharge, but it was unfair. He's going to write a book, and he's going to start a podcast. And all of the leftists are going to subscribe to the podcast, and they're going to give him the numbers that he needs to continue to spread his message of dissent. And that's fine. We need weirdos to remember that the world is a dangerous place. Gardening says the chants were like robots, good little robots, useful idiots. All right, they like I said, when you have so when you have people who have no clue of what danger is, okay, they just jump into the fire not knowing that it burns. Today so like I said, before we watched the body cam video, today my wife and my kids, we went out. It's Canada Day, celebrations and so on. And then we on one of the places we went to, Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly is Squidward. If you know who Squidward is. Now, so we went out and we went to the pier. Okay, so there's a pier, and as we were walking, there's an incline where boats are lowered, rolled into the water, but you could see jellyfish on the shallows or in the shallows. And there were kids who were in there, putting their hand in there, like, kind of coaxing the top of the jellyfish. And my son was like, I want to see the jellyfish. And I'm like, dude, you don't want to fall in there. He's 3. He doesn't know. He doesn't have a concept of being stung by a jellyfish. Okay. And he keeps going back to the edge. He has no concept of the danger of falling into the water, even if it's shallow, from that height, and then falling into a swarm of jellyfish. And they're all small. They're like about the size of my fist. They're all there, in the shallows. And when I think of that, I think of these useful idiots who they've never known danger. They've never known deprivation. They've never known they walk into their homes, they flick on the light switch, the lights come on, they turn the taps run, and they can literally drink out of the tap. In Nigeria, you can't do that. You're going to get horribly sick if you continue doing that. In some places, your live streaming and everything goes dead because the power went out. You literally have to run your own little power station with as many generators as you can afford. And of course, the cost of fuel has gone up significantly since I lived there. So it's really expensive to have power or anything function. And yet you have these people who live under luxurious circumstances that has been provided by a capitalist system that gives them opportunities upon opportunities to improve their lives, and they never will, because they are envious, spiteful people who will never lift a finger to build anything in their lives. Soapbox, put away your soapbox, put away your soapbox. Okay. Yeah, Mark Kelly is proud of him. Okay, guys, let's jump into the body cam footage for today. All right. I have several, but I have this one, and I hope it's a good one. Okay, because whenever I watch these body cam stories, I never watch them ahead of time. I want to experience them along with you. So pull out your popcorn. This one might be harrowing because it says, teen's brilliant escape plan ends his life in minutes. Okay, so this is on YouTube, and let's see, I hope there's stuff that's blurred out. Okay. I love having this channel. Okay, so it's all blurred out. Okay, good. It's safe. All right, so let's have a listen, or let's watch this together.
Police officers from multiple departments are desperately searching for a 19-year-old who is inside this car after he fled on foot following a violent police confrontation. But what they don't yet realize is that he is just as determined to escape as they are to catch him.
Captain 4th Street, here's the police officer.
It's around 9:20 a.m. on Saturday, March 16th, 2024, and these Roscoe police officers in Illinois are rushing out of the station and into their squad cars to urgently locate 19-year-old Ray Castro after he fled on foot during a traffic stop. But what they don't know is that this is only the beginning of a much bigger chaos than the one Ray has already caused.
Same ones in route downtown. Ray Hill, Ray Castro, 1078, shots fired.
This was not just a desperate moment where Ray suddenly bolted from the officers. Around 9:10 a.m. that morning, South Beloit Police Detective Reed pulled over a red Saturn Outlook SUV for speeding on Illinois Route 251. The driver was a 17-year-old girl, while Ray sat in the front passenger seat in a ski mask. Although the girl handed over her driver's license, Ray gave the officer a fake name, but the officer quickly uncovered his real identity and discovered he had 2 violent felony warrants against him, prompting him to call for backup.
Black hair, straight pants,
Copy. All units, 1078 is going to be a shots fired at the male Hispanic running eastbound by the name of Ray Castro, male Hispanic, black hair, right hand. Units at 1078 now with shots fired.
Lead medical route. Ray Hill. 4 seconds. Female, gunshot wound.
Copy. Getting medical started for a female with a gunshot wound. Any officers injured?
No officers injured.
When backup officers arrived, the officer asked Ray to step out of the SUV, but he immediately began resisting violently. Police already knew the young girl from previous contacts and were aware she was in a relationship with Ray. When the officer opened the passenger door to handcuff him, Ray started wrestling with the officer and physically pulled him partially inside the SUV. As the officer attempted to turn off the ignition, Ray overpowered him, restarted the vehicle, and ordered his girlfriend to step on it. By this point, the 17-year-old girl had already called her mother, who was listening on speakerphone. As both her mother and another officer repeatedly warned her, yelling, "Don't do it," the panicked teen followed Ray's command and slammed on the gas pedal while Detective Reed was still trapped and pinned underneath Ray inside the moving vehicle. The girl also struck another officer with the SUV, though he managed to avoid being run over. Fearing for his life, Detective Reed then fired his service weapon, striking the girl in the right leg as the SUV sped across the highway before crashing into a ditch. But while officers rushed to assist the injured girl and secure the crash scene, Ray managed to break free, evade a taser deployment, and flee on foot toward the nearby Mactown Lodge. As the girl's parents rushed to the hospital near the crash site, radio traffic captured conversations between dispatchers and hospital staff regarding the unfolding incident.
Hi, this is Tabitha at the Beloit Hospital Emergency Room. I'm help a family locate their 17-year-old daughter who was just involved in a shooting. Our officers said that Winnebago handled the call, so family's here at our hospital, though, and we don't have the patient. Are you guys able to tell us where she was transported?
Do you have her name? If one of the family members and a phone number, we'll have to...
Yeah, it's mom and dad's here. Do you want me to just get their name and number? Do you want to talk to them?
Yeah. I can't tell them over the phone. We'll have to have an officer contact them.
So the officer has to call them? Okay.
Yeah.
The girl was arrested and eventually transported to Rockford Hospital for treatment of her gunshot wound. But if Detective Reed and the rest of the South Beloit police officers believed they were about to corner Ray near the Mactown Lodge, they were badly mistaken, because Ray already had plans of his own. After escaping from the crash scene, Ray walked into the Mactown Lodge and held a 78-year-old man at knife point while he was cleaning the bar. Ray demanded the man's keys before fleeing in a stolen maroon 2004 Chevrolet Trailblazer.
It's going to be Mactown Lounge. Done for. If we could have a deputy en route, the carjacking occurred here. I've got the victim here.
By now, officers know that Ray is unpredictable, perhaps armed, dangerous, and desperate to escape. And as Beloit police officers join the pursuit to assist with regional containment, they still have no idea that this chase is far from over.
1720 after a turn around. There are units still playing on foot with the suspect that's armed. If I have no idea the direction of travel.
He went eastbound. Not sure if he's armed or not.
Whenever we see these situations with parents whose kids have these relationships with bad boys, or parents like the girl who had that issue, who was pregnant and had multiple boyfriends living in her parents' home. The question is, what's going on with parenting today? Okay. And one of the answers that I have is that a lot of parents, started taking parenting tips from Hollywood. That's what happened. And they essentially raised a bunch of rebellious kids who don't respect their parents or even know how the world works. They expect to break all these principles and have a great life like they see in the movies. Oh, sleep around and you'll eventually find the man of your dreams. Okay, like they see in the movies, and parents really do have to wake up, So I just wanted to say that because again, you have a mom over the phone saying don't do it, and she does what her boyfriend says she should do. She gets shot in the leg, caps a felony because she ran into police officers. Okay, and then resisted arrest or aided her life right now is essentially not over, but she has a criminal record now on her record because her boyfriend. Okay, so JM says so many people destroy themselves living this lifestyle of death and destruction. I've seen this so many times growing up in Brooklyn, New York. It is a vicious cycle. It is. And Intergalactic Trump says, shaking my head. It's sad. Let's keep going. Oh, and guys, I have to do this because, fair use. I have to talk over the videos and we have to also have conversations, so I hope you don't mind.
You want us to set a perimeter?
Yeah, that's a really bad idea.
All units around, we need to set up a perimeter. Unnoticed suspect is armed at this time. We're going to start perimeter. Where do you need them?
But for Detective Reed, the officer that Ray had trapped inside the SUV, this entire ordeal was nothing short of deja vu. Back on July 22nd, 2021, a 16-year-old Ray had already fled from officers when Reed attempted to stop him. Then, nearly a year later, on July 10th, 2022, Ray and two other young men robbed a gas station at gunpoint in Woodstock, Illinois. Just 2 days later, they crashed their getaway car in West Allis, Wisconsin. Despite those serious charges, Ray failed to appear for a mandatory McHenry County court hearing on August 9th, 2023. His bond was officially forfeited on September 15th, and felony arrest warrants were issued on October 10th, 2023. Those same warrants ultimately led Detective Reed to initiate this traffic stop, which has now spiraled into a shooting and multi-agency pursuit that none of the officers anticipated. But just when it seems like Ray may have slipped out of their hands again, Roscoe Police Sergeant Lewis notices the same maroon SUV with Ray in it.
7CM20 is at Prairie Hill 251. I'm going to push towards Willowbrook.
Prairie Hill 251.
Put out a description over here.
Number subject's going to be a Ray Castro.
Sweatshirt, blue jeans. Ran eastbound from Prairie Hill North 2nd, north side of the road.
Is he south of the quarry? I got a maroon SUV leaving, maroon Trailblazer towards 251. Hoodie, Male Hispanic, he's taking off.
Not for possible suspect, road SUV Chevy Trailblazer, taking off.
We're westbound on Prairie Hill.
Westbound on Prairie Hill. Anybody got sticks in the area?
We're crossing railroad tracks coming up to Door Road, Prairie Hill Door Road westbound. It'll be a maroon Chevy Trailblazer. It's a Wisconsin 28. I can't copy it yet. Speed's 95. Continuing westbound. Light traffic. Speed 75. 95.
Copy. Continuing westbound.
We're blue the stop sign at Door Road. Continuing westbound. Westbound past Whittemore, continuing westbound, going to incoming traffic, we're at speed 75.
That work, keep it coming.
We're slowing down in front of the Dollar General, we're continuing westbound, speed's about 65.
Got an ambulance coming for this female, correct?
Where we go?
I saw the ambulance station at Prairie Hill and Willow Road.
Staging is at the Casino approach.
Willowbrook.
We just pressed Blackhawk, continuing westbound, crossing the river.
Wow, this is...
We're turning onto Root Avenue, continuing northbound Root Avenue. We'll be on Sherrill here in a second. Just past Center, blue stop sign at Center. We're stopping at Sherland. We're going to turn eastbound on Sherland, going into Blewett.
What's that guy doing? Okay, well.
We're units on traffic police.
Northbound 8, northbound 8.
Now, if I was watching this in Nigeria and I saw this happen, okay, I saw this happen where the police officer is in pursuit.
Stopping at Sherland, we're going to turn eastbound on Sherland, going into Blewett.
Car heads in like this, okay, I wouldn't have thought anything of it because politicians and wealthy people use sirens to get past traffic in Nigeria. They do. So whenever we hear that, it's more like, okay, we're going to let them pass, but so it's not like there's anything significant happening. It's usually someone who is trying to get somewhere and trying to get through traffic quickly. So I would have seen this and I wouldn't have batted an eyelid, and I would have wondered, okay, so why is he parking? Okay. So I just wanted to let you guys know, okay, that people who come from third world countries, okay, some third world countries, I've only lived in Nigeria all my life, okay, I don't know what happens in other third world countries, but I know what happens in mine. Whenever they are told, okay, you need to get training on how to drive, a lot of them get offended, like, I already know how to drive. They don't know about these laws, they don't know about these rules because they don't get applied in their own countries. And a lot of immigrants get upset whenever they're told, hey, you need to get experience in how to work in North America, and they're like, oh no, that's racist. But you guys don't have the same system operating in your country, so I just wanted to throw that in because like, this is the benefit of listening to me, because a lot of you see this and it's like, oh, it's expected. But people who haven't lived in other countries don't know that there is a difference. And whenever I get very hot under the collar about immigration policy, is because I know these things. Like there's a lot of backstory that I have that tells me that bringing people into your country unvetted is a bad idea. You don't know who's who. And then those guys are expected to get the same jobs as everybody else in the in the country. And if you don't hire them to be a doctor or something big in the country, it becomes racism. So I mean that's coming, but but I just wanted to just talk about that.
But what these officers don't yet realize is that Ray is just as determined to escape as they are to stop him. And eventually, it is going to force one of them into taking an extreme measure.
And we're through St. Lawrence. Eastbound on Portland, eastbound on Portland.
Gotta get somebody on the bridges.
Still eastbound, still eastbound. Continuing eastbound, we're about 75 miles an hour.
Traffic's picking up, moderate traffic. Stop sign, almost 1050. Hold on.
It looked like about crash there for a second. Still going eastbound. We're going to be pulling up, getting downtown by the auto parts store. We're at 5th Avenue.
Portland and 5th Street, Portland and 5th Street. Traffic 4th Street here, still eastbound.
Continuing eastbound, we're going over the river.
Jeez.
.325, still eastbound, passing Pleasant here. Approaching Woodward.
Hold the red light here.
Going into Woodward Avenue, we're getting into the apartment area, White and Woodward.
Light at Park Avenue, continuing.
North on Prairie Ave. Looks like we got a bullet squad with us. Eastbound strong, eastbound strong.
Of course he was going to get shot.
I'm good. You guys good?
343 is going to be law enforcement. Shots fired by Illinois. Shots fired.
TAC 27CM20.
Wow.
I need you to notify 7 King 1. I didn't. Yeah, there's shit. So we got one down. We got an individual here, and this.
I'm good.
Wow. Jeez.
Pull them out. You guys done it all? Yes.
A resident's home surveillance camera in the area also captured the chase, Ray's attempt to flee after the pit maneuver, his crash into the sergeant's patrol car, and the actions the sergeant ultimately had to take to protect both himself and the other officers on scene.
Behind my car. You boss? No, I said good. He hit the squad. I don't think I got hit. Why don't you put that away for right now, man? Yeah. Let's get over here, all right?
Wow.
All right.
You okay, bud?
Yeah, I'm good. He hit my door. I thought I was going to get hit. Yeah, I rammed him. So,
Okay, all right. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, brother.
Okay, where's he at?
The suspect, he's not moving. He's dead.
All right.
Nah, you're good, boss. Killed that lady, I think.
What?
Killed that lady, I think.
What? Kill?
Nah, you're good, boss. Killed that lady, I think. Why don't you take a seat right here? Thanks, bro. I'll get you water.
EMS later arrived on scene and pronounced 19-year-old Ray Castro deceased. His 17-year-old girlfriend survived the gunshot wound to her leg and eventually made a full recovery. The 78-year-old man's car was totaled in this incident, and the community set up a GoFundMe page to help him buy a new car. In the aftermath of the incident, one resident was allowed back into her home to retrieve her dogs when she noticed a bullet hole in the front of the house. She alerted an officer at the scene and allowed investigators inside to recover any related evidence. Thankfully, the stray round hadn't struck anyone. That same day, the Beloit Police Department requested that the Wisconsin Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Investigation take over the investigation into the officer-involved shooting. On May 17, 2024, the Rock County District Attorney officially cleared Roscoe Police Sergeant Lewis, ruling that his actions in the fatal shooting of Ray Castro were lawful acts of self-defense. Then, on May 30th, 2024, the Winnebago County State's Attorney in Illinois also cleared South Beloit Police Detective Reed, concluding that his decision to shoot the 17-year-old driver in the leg was legally justified to stop her from running him over.
Yep. Yeah, and the same thing, guys, happened with Renee Good. Same thing happened. Of course, that's not a popular position to take, but that's the same thing that happened. She was driving a rocket at ICE agents and got shot. And it sadly led to the same outcome. So, anyway, let's look at the chat. And let's see. JM says, some of these people think they are in a real life GTA game. Like when I was watching the chase and how long it took for them to catch up to him, I could almost feel like what was going on in his head was like, yeah, you know, I'm the main character, okay? And like I watched the driving, like the guy was good. Like his driving was good, under control. But you know what? He's a criminal. And he decided that this was the day he was simply going to do what he always did, okay? Because his first arrest was when he was 16 years old. He wasn't raised right, okay? I mean, we talked about parenting. He wasn't raised right. At 16, that's what he was doing. My son is 15, and where is he at? No, he's turning 16 in October. He's going to be 16 in October. And where is he at right now? He's at a Christian camp as a junior staff member getting training. Okay, now, where was this guy when he was the same age as my son? He was committing crimes. You know, so, and some people might say, hey, you can't put it on the parents. You 1,000% can put it on the parents, because it, you know, the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Oh, but I don't believe in the Bible. That explains a lot. You know, so it's, and I'm not saying that to dismiss the fact that a life was lost and it's tragic, but like there are consequences, and people have to be willing to look long and hard at consequences. Gardening says, I can't imagine the amount of adrenaline these officers go through. Like, it's crazy. Like, and just watching that last scene, or the last part of the chase where the officer was pinned in his vehicle, he literally had to jump back into his vehicle to avoid getting crushed by the car. Because if he had stood in the doorway of the car a second longer, his legs would have been crushed into the vehicle and he may have been dead, because the door would slam into his face, crush his skull. He would have been dead. Like, people see these things and they're like, oh no, the officer should jump out of the way. It's just 1 second. If he hesitated 1 second, he'll be dead. Okay, the cars aren't made of paper. Okay, a vehicle standing still is different from a vehicle bearing down at you at 20 miles an hour. Even at just 20 miles an hour, that thing can be lethal, especially if there's something between you and the vehicle. You know, So Renee Good, again, back to Renee Good. No one wants to talk about it because it's politically dicey, but it's the same thing. Yeah, so guys, thanks for hanging out. A lot of people had to go watch the match between the United States and Bosnia. I wonder how that's doing. Let's see, USA versus Bosnia. Let's see how that's going, because a bunch of you, good, the United States is winning. So 2-0. And Folarin Balogun, he's Nigerian. He has Nigerian roots. Okay, scored in the 45th minute. My daughter, whoops, he got a red card. The Nigerian, the guy who's from Nigeria got a red card. He scored in the 45th minute, and then he gets a red card. Oh, come on. Anyway, I told my, when I put on the game downstairs before I came upstairs, and I told my daughter, that guy is a Nigerian legal immigrant. Either he was born American or they immigrated. And then she was like, we had a conversation around that. Like I tried to, and she said, did you say illegal? I said, no, I said legal. Okay. Okay. So, congrats USA. You guys, I guess, are going, it's full time, going on to the next round of the World Cup. So thank you guys for bypassing or watching the live stream instead of watching the game. I know there was a lot of traffic going to that game today. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. JM says, amazes me how they try to place blame on the officer. What I would say is that they didn't try to place blame on the officer. It's protocol. If there's an officer involved shooting, there's always an investigation. There's always an investigation. It's come from years of abuse by dirty cops in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So essentially these protocols have been put in place to avoid questions whenever an officer fires off his gun. They need to know why, and the paperwork has to be clear. You can't have a victim or a relative of a victim show up 15 years later, 20 years later, sells a script to Hollywood to say that there were bad cops who murdered my relative, and then people start seeing that, okay, police were murdering people. And if you recall, before the BLM riots, we didn't have body cam footage. So we had all of the Rodney King riots. We had all of these things going on where they claimed that the Amadou Diallo situation, they were like, police kills black people on sight. And that was the narrative that the social justice shills were selling. And everybody believed them because there was no evidence. Now we're watching this and we're saying to ourselves, how could they place blame on the cop? But they didn't see what we just saw. Okay, they had to watch the footage, review the chase, go through everything and say, okay, was this a good shoot or a bad shoot? And then they document the fact that it was a good shoot. Okay, it has to be processed that way in order to protect the officer, protect the police force, to protect, it's all part of the procedure. So I would say they weren't trying to blame him. They were just trying to say, look, okay, there was a shooting. Let's find out why that happened. So I guess that's why they came up with the investigation. Okay. All right. So let's go around the horn. And guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a World Cup match night. I appreciate you guys sticking to the end when we watch these body cam videos, because usually, and this is how live streams are across the board. There are highs and lows. There's those their peaks and people begin to drop off towards the end of the live stream, and I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Oh, meanwhile, please consider joining the Discord. I keep forgetting to add that. Please consider joining the Discord. Links to the Discord are in the description of this live stream. That's where we have conversations. The link that was sent to me was sent on Discord. Okay, Gardening sent me the link on Discord, and like, you guys can literally be talking to me while the show is on. Okay. I want to give you guys a direct line to me to be able to send updates to me, to let me know stuff while the live stream is going on. If there's backstories that we can have to situations that we're covering, you can literally send those to me within the Discord. So I would love for you guys to please consider joining the Discord. It's private. It's private. And Gardening says, hold on, I need to minimize this. Gardening says, just don't send a little bloody video. Yeah, so we try to self-censor, okay? And the more you kind of send things over to me, you'll get to know what we can and can't put up on YouTube. If there's a video that has gore, blood, it's a no-no for YouTube. If it's a video that has violence, like people fighting, these body cam videos seem to be fine, but other videos where there's violence on screen, where people are fighting and so on, it tends to get YouTube's hair standing up, like they start acting out. So we try to be very, very careful. We're still a small channel, and if the channel gets nuked, okay, no one will notice but you guys. And if you put in a petition to YouTube, they won't do anything because you're too small. So we need to be very careful when we do stuff like that. So thank you, Gardening, for reminding us of that. So let's go around the horn. As always, thank you, Gardening, for all the work you do. Thank you for continuing to show up night after night. Thank you, Intergalactic Trump. You rock as always. And thank you, JM21999. Thank you. You've become a regular. You've become a regular, and Guy, we are so glad to have you. And we found out something new about you. You're related to AOC. Look, now, this is not to say that we don't call people out, irrespective of whether the people who care about them are on the live stream. But I think it's fair to say that I've done my best to not demonize people. Even though I've come close several times, especially with Hakeem Jeffries and Jasmine Crockett. I've come really close, but I try to kind of stay on discussing policy, and I'm glad that we've been able to kind of have conversations and do it in a neat way. I get passionate. I get passionate, but I'm glad you guys, put up with my passion. Now, yesterday and today, you've noticed that I haven't gone into my rant mode. I haven't raised my voice. I haven't, screamed. I've barely lost my temper about some of the things that we see. There are two reasons. Okay, reason number one is I'm trying to conserve my energy. Live streaming every day, staying up late to work extra hours because I'm actually building a business software platform that I want to sell on the side. Okay, I'm telling you this not to sell to you, but I'm saying I'm trying to do this because I want to have another business running on the side while I'm trying to build YouTube. When I get my paperwork in and I have to get a job, my hope is that I don't have to get a job. When you say you have to get a job in order to earn, I don't want to have to get a job. I want to be able to say I'm earning on YouTube, and I also have a business that I'm running. So I spend extra hours of the day and night building the software, and I've gotten some automations done. I've gotten a bunch of things done, and I'm supposed to have a meeting in the weeks to come with a group of people who are supposed to help to connect me with customers. So that's happening, but I'm doing it in a way that helps me avoid having to work directly with customers. So that I don't break in immigration law. So it's more like the customers are dealing with the software, not with me. So that's why I'm working so hard. So most of the time, I'm trying to conserve my energy. I'm really pushing my body to to the limit. Last night I was awake till 4 a.m. Then I was awake by what time did I get up this morning? I think I was awake by around 10 o'clock. Okay. So that was about, was it 4? No, I think I was awake by about 8 or 9 o'clock. So that was about 3 or 4 hours of sleep. So I try to conserve my energy in order to kind of, be able to do this, long term. The second reason why I'm trying to stay composed and not rant, and don't worry, you're going to get the occasional rant come out of me depending on the story, is that it's summer. I have to keep my door closed, the main door to the rest of the house closed, because I have kids who scream and sometimes they fight and they stomp around, and you can, like last night, you could hear doors slamming in the background. But over here, I have a window that's open now because there's a window with a heavy curtain that blocks out the light during the day if I have to live stream during the day. But right now, it's wide open, and I have neighbors across the way. And I don't want to be ranting, and they peep out and they look through the window and they see me with my lights and they know, hey, he's a YouTuber and he supports Trump. Okay, let's get him. So I don't want to do that. But I'm just trying to be as discreet as possible. I'm still going around the horn. Tony, thank you for jumping into the chat. I know that, joining us from all the way across the world in Australia is difficult to keep up with, but I'm grateful that you're able to. And then let's recognize the workers, okay? All of you that lurk around the work, that work in the background. Maybe you're doing your night shifts and, the show is playing on the headphones and you're just listening and you can't chat. We see you and we thank you for being here and for hanging out with us. Gardening says to JM2199, you're one of us now. You are. So thank you so much, JM. I'm going to just call you JM, okay, for joining us and being a part of the family. We are building something significant here. It's different. I feel like it's different. I feel like what I'm trying to do here is to build something that is honest. And part of being honest is to remove theatrics, remove outrage or rage bait. The stories by themselves are rage bait already. They are like, just watching some of the videos we watched today is like, what the hell is going on in our world? So I don't need to lay it on thick anymore than the story already does for itself. But what I want to do is to do it in an honest way and then to have real conversations with you guys. Tonight we've gone for an hour, 49 minutes so far. It's heading to 2 hours. I do want to keep it to about an hour long, but tonight somehow we got to an hour and we're heading to 2 hours. Maybe so you guys do something for me, okay? Let me know what you think about the episodes, okay? I need your feedback, and that's why the Discord exists. chatting on YouTube is great, but it's not useful whenever I need to do a review on the channel and to see where we're going, and also it's not useful for communicating with you. So joining the Discord is big because I get to post announcements and you get to connect with me directly if you want to, and we get to talk as a community on the Discord. Gardening is working on a few things. In the next few weeks, she's going to be coming up with ideas on how to make the Discord exciting for everyone. And if you want to be on that team that works on the Discord, you can reach out to Gardening. She's right there in the Discord. You can connect with her, team up with her, give her ideas on what we could do on the Discord. I know we can do a ton of things, and I would like you guys to please look. You guys do a lot already, just showing up and chatting and just being here for an hour, 2 hours, watching me. Okay, here I am watching me every night, Sundays to Fridays. And I appreciate the fact that you guys have trusted me with your time, and you've trusted me with your heart, because whoever you listen to constantly, you've opened your heart to them. Thank you for opening your heart to me, and I want to earn that trust and keep that trust. So I'm doing my very best to be as transparent with you guys as I can, to be honest with you about my position. When I was coming up with the topic for tonight, do you know the struggle I had to go through? Because and I'll be honest, I'll be like, I was like, my feed is filled with these conversations around socialism. Gardening says, yes, let's work together and get the Discord going. So please connect with her. Please, guys, join the Discord, connect with her, and help her, come up with ideas that will, grow the channel. So what was I now? Lost my thought. So I was looking at my feed and I was seeing all of these videos on socialism. And remember, we had a long, great conversation with someone who says, I'm a socialist. Okay. And I'm like, do I have to do this and chase away the one person we won over, at least as someone who likes the channel? Okay. They join us yesterday, and then I say socialism is horrible. And then he unsubscribes today, I had to go through that battle in my head, but I said to myself, if I don't stand my ground and tell the truth about this, when the channel gets bigger, I am going to be that guy who is swayed by crowds. I look at what the crowd says they want, and if it's a lie, I will pin my nose and swallow it and say, okay, let's do this for the crowd. I don't want to be that guy. So even if in the future, telling the truth loses me hundreds or thousands of subscribers, I want to be able to just tell the truth, irrespective of the consequences. So, yeah. So that's why you guys are important in the Discord, calling me out and giving me pointers and telling me what works and what doesn't work. Gardening says you have to speak the truth, whether it is something people want to hear or not. It is nice hearing other opinions, but the truth should always win. And many times the truth isn't fun to hear, even when it has to do with something that you support. All right. Sometimes the truth, like yesterday when a statement was made about the Bible, I said, look, that is one thing about the Bible that a lot of people fight about, and that is how violent the Old Testament is. And people have said, hey, this is why I stopped being a Christian. And I'm like, yeah, I can see why you're confused, but is there a reason? And you need to do a lot of digging in history and in the Bible to find out what the reason is. This is not my Christian Bible study channel, so I'm not going to dive into that. I talked about it on one of the videos on the Crossroads Faith. It's one of the videos that I covered on that when I talked about the conquest of Canaan. Gardening says, however, I did enjoy the conversation with Soul yesterday. I did. I honestly did. And I may not have won him over, and I may never win him over as someone who is like a Trump supporter or a conservative. But let's have a conversation. That's all we need to do. Have conversation. Have good faith conversations. And let's agree. You and I may never see eye to eye. That's a good rhyme. You and I may never see eye to eye. We may never agree on our politics. We may never agree on execution, but we should be able to have good faith conversations that say, I see what you're saying. I agree to this, but there's too much history. There's too much I disagree with your position or with your party or with your policies that I can't cross over. Okay, and then we turn around, shake hands, and walk away, and no one calls the other person a bigot, a racist, a this-phobe, or a that-phobe. Okay, that's the kind of conversation we need to encourage. And I'm glad we were able to have that. I was so glad we were able to have that. And I do hope that he comes back, and I do hope that we have more people like him come back. It's boring when the only people you get to talk to are people who agree with you all the time. Okay, like with family, people actually push back at you regularly. My wife pushes back at me regularly. She does. And I don't like it. I don't like it. But it is healthy. It's healthy. People need to push back, because if you only have people who agree with you all the time, you will never have convictions. You will never have convictions. You need to be able to now my definition of a conviction is is what you arrive at after all the questions have been answered. Okay, it is where you arrive after all the questions have been answered. So when you've asked all the questions and answered all the questions, that is what's left, conviction. So you need to have pushback, and I would like us to have more of those conversations. It doesn't mean we win all the time. You're going to join a live stream one day. You guys are going to join a live stream one day, and you guys are going to leave not being happy with me, or not being happy with something that I concluded with. And it's totally fine. Like, it's totally fine. It's like, what did he just say? Totally fine. And you know what? I might come back the next day and say I'm doubling down, or I'm like, okay, I made a huge mistake. Sorry, guys, I misspoke, or I did this. We have to be able to have those conversations and not double down on insanity and then continue to watch the world burn. Okay, that's not what we want. Okay, let me put away my soapbox. Let's see. All right, guys. Oh, I keep forgetting to take this off. Guys, I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're going to be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow is tomorrow for you. For me, it's today already. Thursday, it's already 1 minute past midnight. For you, it's tomorrow. We're going to be back tomorrow, and we're going to see what's up with the news, and we'll talk and we'll hang out. Join the Discord. Send me your feedback on the live streams. Give me ideas. Send me links. I would love to start seeing that happen. Thank you, guys. Love you, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.